I feel like I need to phone a friend. Can I get Shep on the line?
Welcome to Experience Points, presented by our friends at Avtex who transform customer experience through CX design and orchestration. On Experience Points, contestants earn points by answering customer experience questions and share their insights on how to make your interactions remarkable. Those points turn into dollars for the charity of their choosing. I'm Joey Coleman.
And I'm Dan Gingiss, and we'd love to introduce you to today's contestant.
Jason Bradshaw is the Chief Customer and Marketing Officer at Volkswagen Group Australia. He's a professional speaker and author of It's All About Sex, that's CEX, the essential guide to customer and employee experience. He was also recently involved in the creation of the smallest car dealership in the world. Let's welcome Jason Bradshaw to Experience Points.
Thanks so much, Dan. It's so great to be on the podcast today to raise some money for a fantastic charity and hang out with you and Joey.
Oh, thanks, Jason. We're excited to have you here. You know, I'm totally intrigued by this idea of the world's smallest dealership. Can you tell us something about that project that might be useful for other folks when they're thinking about how to create great customer experiences?
So last year we were faced with the reality of our dealerships being closed for a large portion of the year and certainly operating under unique circumstances. But we had customers telling us that they still wanted to experience a car. They wanted to be able to open a door and look inside and turn on the headlights and a whole range of things. And so we took that consumer insight, that consumer feedback, and created a augmented reality experience, which meant that a customer could literally still experience the car without needing to go somewhere. And they could put it in their lounge room or in their driveway or see if it would fit in their garage. And it was absolutely drawn out of what our consumers were saying. But the reason we used augmented reality instead of virtual reality is actually from an employee insight. So we had deployed training using virtual reality, and our employee take up on that was quite low because it was expensive. The barrier to entry was too high. And so we teamed our employee insights and our customer insights to come up with a easy to access solution that let people experience our products from the comfort of anywhere with the devices that they would already own. So my hint to you there is listen to employees and customers to solve for problems for today and tomorrow.
Outstanding. Great feedback and a great tactic and tip for our audience. Jason, today you're going to be playing for a very special organization. Can you tell us who you'll be playing for and why you're such a big fan?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to have chosen the Trevor Project as my charity of choice. They work with LGBTQ youth in a whole range of areas, suicide prevention and crisis intervention, to really help young youth through difficult times so that they can build a life of value and service to others.
Fantastic. Well, we are excited to have you playing for the Trevor Project. We're excited to have you win some great money for such an important cause. Now that we know who you're going to be playing for, let's talk about the game. Today we're going to be playing Think Fast.
In Think Fast, you will have 1 minute to answer 5 experience questions. For each question, you must quickly choose between 2 possible answers. Correct answers given before time runs out are worth 100 points. 5 correct answers will earn you 500 bonus points for a possible score of 1,000 points.
Jason, are you ready?
Okay, can I get 90 seconds on the clock?
I love it. Rick, we'll have a delay given that this conversation is happening all the way in Australia. Maybe you'll get extra time coming. No, we're still doing it in 60 seconds. You've got it. Dan, tell them about today's game.
Okay, all of our questions are going to be based on the 2020 ACA survey. That's Achieving Customer Amazement, a special report on customer preferences, habits, and wants that was produced by our collective friend and colleague, Shep Hyken, also a former contestant on Experience Points. All right, Jason, let's get ready to play Think Fast. Joey, give me 60 seconds on the clock, and here come your 5 questions. What percentage of customers are willing to switch brands to get better customer service? Is it 60% or 96%?
96%.
As a customer's income goes up, are they more or less willing to switch brands for better customer service? Is it more willing or less willing?
More willing.
Which channel do customers prefer the most when contacting a company for support? Telephone or email?
Email.
What was the biggest indicator of exceptional customer service? Was it personalized care and support or being treated with kindness and respect?
Being treated with kindness and respect.
According to the survey respondents, has customer service improved or not improved over the last year? Is it improved or not improved?
Not improved.
Woo! Jason, you got in under the wire. You got all 5 questions answered. Congratulations. Let's see how you did. We asked what percentage of customers are willing to switch brands to get better customer service, 60% or 96%. You said 96%, and that was correct.
All right.
Next, good job. One for one, feeling good.
4 more to go. Bring it on.
We then asked, as a customer's income goes up, are they more or less willing to switch brands for better customer service? You said more willing. And you were correct. 87% of people who have incomes over $100,000 annually said they would be willing to switch brands to get better customer service. So, congratulations. All right, 2 for 2. We're going to number 3. Which channel do customers prefer the most when contacting a company for support? Telephone or email? You said email. Oh
no.
So close. You were so close. I
think there must have been an audio problem. Didn't you hear telephone?
I love it. We'll have to go to the tape to see.
Can we get an instant replay?
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, the next question. What was the biggest indicator of exceptional customer service, personalized care and support, or being treated with kindness and respect? You said being treated with kindness and respect. And my friend, you were correct. Back on the board again. I love it. Last but not least, we asked, according to the survey respondents, has customer service improved or not improved over the last year? You said not improved. And you were correct. It was a close one. 52% said not improved, 48% said improved, but the moral of the story, still work to go there. Goodness, great job on the Think Fast. Jason, when you look at those answers and you look at the kind of general theme about customer experience that comes out from those questions, what are some of your key takeaways?
Well, I think it starts with the last question. The CX discipline as a professionalization is, I would say, still in its infancy. You know, many organizations are still trying to figure out what it is, what it means for them. Yet, you know, I was talking about customer service and how that's a differentiator in the marketplace when I was 14 years of age in my first business. Now, obviously, we've gone on and we talk about customer experience, and service is part of that. But for decades now, organizations have been saying that they care about customers and that they're going to improve the customer experience. Yet 52% of customers say that it hasn't improved. And I would think that number's understated. You know, and we've set the bar so low for what improvement looks like. You know, the question that apparently I got wrong, but we'll have to see whether I said telephone or the Australian version of telephone, which is email. But the reason I chose email is because I think customers are so sick and tired of sitting on queues and going through menu items that, you know, certainly in my experience in the contact centers that we have, our email volumes outweigh our telephone volume because people want the convenience of putting in their inquiry at a time that suits them. I guess the hope that people have is if they pick up the phone, they might get an answer faster. and that's why telephone was the winner there. But for me, everything that we've talked about is customer experience is vital to your organization. If customers aren't feeling it's improved, we're not working hard enough, and we need to start working harder so customers actually feel that they get a better experience with our business, so that they don't even want to try someone else. And that's the key. Customer experience isn't around hugging your haters. It's about building loyalty and long-term profitability for an organization. And that's the missing gap. We're not working hard enough to earn that loyalty that we all crave.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Jason. I think I come at things from a marketing perspective because I spent most of my career there. And I always wonder if we spent even a fraction of the amount that we spend on marketing on customer experience, we would not be talking about how behind everybody is and how the bar is so low. And what's so striking to me about that is that our customers are the ones that are paying our salaries. Our customers are the ones that are keeping the business afloat. And we're always so focused on getting new customers that we often forget about the ones that we already have. And as to the telephone thing, to me, I think that comes down to the desire for human interaction, which you mentioned earlier. And that might be the preferred method because I know I'm going to talk to a human. But as you say, we don't make talking to a human easy either at most organizations. And so then we end up resorting to other channels. It's why there's so much negativity on social media, because by the time someone gets there, they're already frustrated at another customer service channel in many cases. So definitely agree with you. I think that human element is really important, and we can bring a human element into our other service channels as well to show customers that we care about them and we care when things go wrong. Because generally, when things go wrong, it's because of something in the experience that didn't work as it was supposed to.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Dan. And I think when we talk about that human piece, that human element, that answer also shows up, or that concept also shows up in the answer about kindness and respect. I think in an increasingly digital world, in an increasingly on-demand world where we're ordering things online and they just show up at the door, or we're using a chat bot or a telephone prompt through a contact center to quickly navigate where we're trying to go, we've missed the human connection piece of the story. And I think the best companies in the world right now are looking to find ways to infuse that human touch, to create opportunities for customers to actually interact with a live agent or a live support member or just a live human who's part of the team, to kind of create that connection and foster that sincerity that comes from a human interaction, but maybe gets a little bit lost in some of our more automated interactions.
We can only hope that more organizations look to add value to improve the lives of their customers with human connection as opposed to more chatbots in the world.
So true, so true. I also think it would be interesting for us to explore, and I'd be curious, Jason, given your experience as somebody who works as closely with the customer experience as you do with the employee experience, could you speak a little bit to how investments in the customer experience enhance the employee experience as well?
So I think that organizations that genuinely care about improving the lives of their employees take a lens on all work, whether it be customer or other work, and of how does this make it easier for my employees to achieve success. Now, I think about Allstate Bank in the US, Allstate Insurance, in the US. They actually launched a chatbot for their agents and not their customers. Now, why did they do that? Because they wanted their agents to actually give the right answer more times than not, but they wanted it still to be quick. And so what agents were doing when they didn't have the chatbot was they were giving their best answer based on what they could remember from their training. But of course that wasn't always right, which would then lead to the customer ringing back going, you gave me the wrong information. So they were like, we need to solve this problem for the customer. They deserve the right answer. But in solving that customer problem, they also solved the employee problem, which was they could never remember everything across every policy. So let's create a really simple chat bot so that they can service the answer, the correct answer to the customer quickly. And now they had tens of thousands of requests on their chatbots from their employees, and they realized that they were onto something. And what happened? Customers' success went up, employees were happier, and they grew their organization as a result. So I think there's many a time where you can solve a customer problem by looking at how you can solve the employee problem first.
So, okay, Joey, let's recap how Jason did playing Think Fast.
Well, in this game, correct answers are worth 100 points, and Jason answered 4 questions correctly, which means he earned 400 points. Now, those points convert into dollars, which means that Jason earned a $400 donation to the Trevor Project. Congratulations, Jason.
I'm so excited that I was able to get those 4 questions right. But I think that I really have to say that there's a judge's call there on the email versus telephone response. So I'm going to throw in a $100 donation myself to the Trevor Project to round it out to the $500.
Oh, outstanding. That is fantastic. I will say, I think when we go back and listen to the tape, the words telephone and email definitely do sound alike. So we'll have to listen really carefully. I could see where you possibly could have said one and we heard the other. Anyway, Jason, we really appreciate you being here. That concludes this episode of Experience Points. Check out more games with Jason and our other celebrity contestants at experiencepointsgame.com. That, again, is experiencepointsgame.com. We'll see you soon for more examples of remarkable customer experiences here at Experience Points, presented by Avtex.
Yeah, no, I think that it's fascinating how this channel conversation continues to come up across industry and the evaluation of channels. But you know, I'm of the opinion that you know, you've got to scale your channels constantly, and by understanding, you know, where people want to communicate at different points of the journey. Because as a consumer, I don't always just want to communicate via email. I don't always just want to communicate via phone. A couple of years ago, I would have never wanted to communicate via text, but I had a very pleasant text support communication that was great with a brand that supplies my glasses, and to get glasses replacements that took place over the course of 2 days. But it was that persistent communication where I didn't have to always be right there on, you know, hanging by a computer or, you know, on the phone. And so I think that it's just interesting to see that it's a continued discussion point.